inevitable.
You have to use your hands? That's like a baby's toy.
I'm totally Batman.
Oh, man.
Shh. Communing with the earth spirits.
Welcome to California, bud.
Cowabunga.
And after that, I just sort of space out for about an hour.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Secondary Heroes podcast. This week, we're talking about The Boys Season 3, the true secondary heroes of TV. This is your host, Trevor, and joining me as usual is...
Hey guys, it's Prague.
Taking a look inside that trunk, this is Alexander Wolfgang.
Nice.
That's nice.
No takes.
No extra takes. That was just a straight shot. Just did it right there. Stay tuned after the show for some fun little bloopers from the beginning.
But
yes,
If you are watching,
first try.
if you're watching on YouTube, you get to see that flaming wreckage, which it's a nice analogy.
It was God, how many times did we redo this intro? Anyways, we all just finished watching the finale of The Boys Season 3, which, guys, I am so excited because now we're finally talking about a show that's got my interest.
Hey, well there you go.
So much happened. It's gonna be tough to even go over. I think I forgot half of everything that happened.
Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Well, we'll decide.
Hey, it makes for great podcasting, am I right?
You come to the experts to talk about everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
Herogasm! All right.
Oh yeah.
So, should we start with our spoiler freeze, boys?
Yeah, so if you're new, we just talked about Stranger Things Season 4, and now The Boys Season 3 happening pretty much at the same time. And so we're going to offer, was it good? Was it worth your time? Hopefully you've watched Season 1 and 2, because it's tough to be like, I'm just going to watch Season 3 of this show. And so
Just why not? Jump right in.
we're going to offer just our opinions. And then after that point, we are going to spoil everything from the Herogasm to Homelander's birthday to all kinds of Soldier Boys. Who knows? Is that a rapper? I'm not sure. We'll find out.
All right, let's crank it.
Oh, nice. Crank some Soldier Boy. Well, I'll go first. Honestly, I love this show. I love this show from start to finish. There is so much that happens, though, that it's kind of hard when it's episodic. No, not episodic. When it's week to week. When it's week to week, it makes it tough because so much happens in each episode, and they're only an hour long. Like Stranger Things was like 2 hours an episode. This one's an hour episode, and it felt like there was more happening in every episode to remember everything. And but at the same time, I loved it. The visuals are from disturbing to beautiful to I don't know. I can't say enough good things about this show. I really enjoy it.
All right. Well, there you go. I'll go next. Yeah, I really enjoyed it as well. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of plot. There's a lot of plot to this.
Yes.
There's also a lot of characters now. Like they keep adding characters and new characters. Not a bad thing, but it is a lot to take in each week. But I do feel like this was a step in the right direction for the show. And I feel like this season is where the show really found itself. The first season, which I really enjoyed, was narratively tight. Like I really enjoyed it for that reason, but it felt very much like a carbon copy of the comics. Like kind of like, here's the comic take, but on TV. Season 2 felt like they were trying to mix it up with current events and stuff and their own storylines, and it got kind of messy and muddled. It had enjoyable moments for sure, but it was kind of a mess and kind of forgettable, to be honest with you. So I didn't have the highest of hopes coming into this season. I'm like, I hope it's not going to be more of that. And instead, they kind of really found their voice, and they were able to take, current events and apply it to the story of the boys and really make it their own thing. And it really worked well for me, at least. So I really enjoyed it. Maybe some nitpicks here and there for sure. Things would have changed, but overall, I think this is a worthwhile season, worth checking out. So if you were somebody that was kind of like, so with season 2. I say give it another chance because they really do hit it home this season.
And I definitely agree with both of you guys. This season was a ton of fun, and I think it's just I never know what's going to happen. Like they've built that pedigree where it's just something crazy is going to happen in every episode, and you're never quite sure what it's going to be. And they keep it going this entire season. I think there was just so many little things that I really enjoyed. Like there was some great dialogue and just, you know, underhanded things. Like it was almost, I wouldn't say it's like 30 Rock good, but there's a lot of stuff where they say it really fast and you don't like pause for a laugh track, and a lot can go over people's heads. There's some hilarious lines that just get swallowed up.
I had to
by the next
rewind
line.
a few times. I'm like, wait, what just happened?
There's some really funny stuff. And then character development, they're really getting into just every single character. Like there's obviously the focus on Homelander, but they introduced an entire new character that got his own time to shine. And then original characters like Butcher and Huey got more backstory and introduction and just relationships crossing over more and more.
But there were, and Prague, you said you had mentioned it in your spoiler free that there was some stuff that wasn't quite there. And as you said that, all of a sudden, all this stuff came to mind of like what they could have just left on the cutting room floor. There was a lot of either storylines that was just like, okay, this.
Yeah, not necessarily bad stuff, just stuff that like it could have been tighter. It could have been like season 1.
Could have been tighter. Yeah, but man, it's a wild ride. Like this was the first time that I think I've seen a disclaimer at the beginning of an episode pretty much saying, we're showing something that really nobody should ever see. And I'm like, well, what could be so bad?
Oh, they were hyping themselves up.
I think they might have been.
It definitely felt overhyped once I actually saw it. I was like, I don't know. I've seen much worse stuff than this on this show itself.
I've seen Eyes Wide Shut, so thank you. That said nothing on that movie.
But yeah, so I thought it was funny that they did do that, the little disclaimer. But yeah, man,
it was fun. It was fun.
Still, awesome stuff. Should we jump into this now?
Socials, maybe.
After socials. Yeah, socials. Hey, everybody. Check us out over on Across the Streams Media. And where's my music?
Across the stream.
Give me some music. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Throwing it back.
I gotta fill in. Okay, I'll do it really quick. Check us out over on acrossthestreamsmedia.com, where you can leave us a voicemail. If you like The Boys, if you like Stranger Things, if you like any of the shows that we discuss on the show, please leave a voice message. You can check us out on. Thank you for turning it down a little bit.
I was jamming.
Oh, it was so loud. You can check us out over on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. Follow us all over there. Go over to iTunes. Leave us a 5-star rating because that helps more ears hear us. That would be great. Shoot, leave us a 1-star. I don't care. Actually, don't. That'd be awful. 5 stars. I do care. I actually care way more than you think. It hurts my feelings. I'm very sensitive, okay? And I do say go check us out on all of our social medias because we like to share like some of the fun things that we do. Like I just spent the weekend at Universal Studios Hollywood and I really shared a whole lot of that on our Twitter. And I should have done a photo dump on our Instagram, but I did not. It doesn't matter. And then check us out on YouTube. Watch us. Watch our faces. It's cute. Because all this is free for you and it's priceless. Boop. To us. Oh, and by the way, make sure you are following us because next week is Comic-Con and you're going to want to follow along on our Comic-Con adventure because all 3 of us are going to be there and we are going to be having a great time.
So
cool.
If you've made it this far, it's now time to spoil everything. And
if you
are familiar with us, we're not going to just like recount the episode. You can watch them. It's more about what were the standouts, what were the highlights, what are things that maybe they could have changed or improved upon. So a lot happened. Again, we're not going to go over every single thing that happened. So what highlights do we want to talk about without, I don't know, jumping too far around? I don't know.
So something before I get too far into this, there's a point I wanted to make before I forget, because I will forget. I am old. I feel like this show, we talked about it in our preview reviews is that this show can be very shocking and over the top. It's kind of what it's been known for. And for me, like when it first started this season, they had that big gross out scene in the first episode, and to me, like as fun and funny as it was, like it didn't really shock me anymore. Like I kind of felt like those big shocks have already happened so much in the show that like
Yes.
moments like that don't shock me anymore. What shocks me is the stuff they do elsewhere in this series, whether it's like a simple revelation of a character's decision or thought process, or that moment in the very, very end of the season. Like that to me is more shocking than some guy's junk being blown up and half his body splattering across.
Oh,
I forgot
totally
about
forgot
that.
about that.
I forgot
Oh.
because it wasn't particularly remarkable. Like I remember.
No,
the
it wasn't. It was like it was
dolphin in
fine. I'm like,
season 1,
okay, right.
but I didn't
Exactly.
remember this.
Yeah,
Okay,
so like those kind of scenes were kind of like, it's fine. Like I'm used to that. That doesn't shock me much anymore. So I was kind of like disappointed with the first episode. I'm like, all right, and then it got better. I'm like, okay, now I get
Yeah, I
it.
feel like the start, episodes 1, 2, and kind of 3. It was a lot of
It's a slow start.
exposition of what's happened over the past year. Let's catch up on what Huey's doing and what the Butcher and Frenchie and MM are doing. And yeah, it's like cool.
Yes. Yeah, it was like the only time I think the first 3 episodes I ever felt like kind of excited is when they went to Homelander, because like I want to know, is Homelander going to lose his stuff? Is he going to blow up? Like what's going to make him turn? Because we keep going to him and he keeps having a different reaction to things, whether it's like the nervous laughter or the angry stare or the crying eye look. There's all these different characteristics that he has where is this the moment where he's going to blow up and just kill everybody? Like what is going to happen? That's what made it this season so exciting. Those first 3 episodes exciting. When he wasn't on screen, there wasn't much else tension in my opinion.
Which
Yeah.
we need to give kudos to that actor. I mean, the absolute Anthony Starr is his name.
Yeah.
The range that this guy has. You just named about 6 different emotions that this guy can go through, and he doesn't say a word most of the time. It's just, you can see it in his eyes that he wants to just explode and murder every single person on screen. And he's fighting himself, holding it all back. And it's like, wow.
Well, it's that internal struggle that he has too. Like that he as much as he wants a scorched earth, he also wants to be loved. Not unlike a certain president that we had.
That was
recently.
a good discussion. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what that's the whole season. He is at a boiling point where he really just wants to kill everybody, but he can't because he wants them to love him. He has this need for parental love that he never had growing up. And it made for a really great character this season. I mean, it always has, but like this season especially.
Right. Yeah.
So.
He definitely turned it up in this season for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, like season 1, he has the connection to the former CEO, whatever her name is, or she's VP or whatever. But then, and then see, that was like the whole
Elizabeth Shue. Thank you. Yes.
Yeah, it was the whole motherly connection, and then in season 2, he has the whole Stormfront relationship connection, and now they're both dead. And so in season 3, he doesn't have that connection or relationship to fall back on, or it's just him. He has nothing to. He's like an echo chamber.
He even talks to himself at one point. Very
Green Goblin style.
Right, but he only does that like one time.
But he almost seemed like he was impersonating Willem Dafoe when he's in the mirror version of himself.
Oh,
he was.
for sure.
It was very much like that.
But I guess I didn't like that it was only one time that he did that. It was almost like, I mean, but maybe, granted, maybe we didn't really need that either.
True.
I mean, need more of that. You know what I mean?
It was
I think
also
once was
very
enough,
Moon
maybe.
Knight. Just his alternate
Another
personality saying,
mirror
"I'll
thing.
take care of it." It was
Yeah,
very Moon Knight.
I noticed that. I'm like, wait a second. Did we just have a show about that? Well, why are we just being introduced to this other character right now?
Oh, but Homelander, what a fantastic bad guy. I mean, in bad guy sakes or bad guy rankings, where would you guys want to put Homelander? Because he's supposed to be the hero. And really,
pretty nuanced. I
He's
like
a
him a lot.
really good villain just because, to Prog's point, it seems like he always creates tension on screen because you don't know how he's going to react. He's
Yeah.
literally a ticking time bomb, and you don't know when it's going to explode.
Because you know he's the most powerful. Like, there's nothing they can do. They can't kill him. They can't do anything.
No matter what,
So,
even whenever they got him pinned down, they
Three people.
almost it's 3 people with even the more powerful of the superheroes couldn't even keep him down. It just fantastic. I mean, but that's the Superman. Superman is the same way. You can't do anything to Superman, which kind of made him kind of a boring character. But then you've got a Superman character that's totally unhinged, which makes for fantastic TV.
it does.
Yep. It just flips that one little thing. What if Superman wasn't just a good guy?
Yes.
And had an Oedipus complex, of course. Makes for great
Yeah.
television.
But now in this series, in this season, they introduce a new thing called Compound V, or not Compound V, but
The Temp
The-
V.
Temp V. where you
Compound
can-
B. Yeah.
Is it Compound B?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, it temporarily makes you a superhero for 24 hours, which, what did you guys think of this whole storyline of having this Temp V or Compound B?
So I liked it because it kind of plays up to our characters, like what they stand for, what they believe in, because they've been fighting for 2 seasons now against soup, that all soups are bad, no matter what. Like especially Butcher, he hates all soups, so he always had this thing with Annie. Like, well, Annie, she's Yui's girlfriend, but she's a soup. What do I do about this? It's like, no, I hate all soups. So if you become one, like, isn't that kind of hypocritical?
Right.
There's I think that adds a lot of character depth and conversation that I thought was kind of fun this season.
There was really good conversations where Butcher says they're not drawing any line, and MM's like, that's why we have to.
Yep.
Because the whole idea that Butcher said this whole time is that no one should have this power, and now he's
Right.
going to use that power to get rid of the people with powers. It's like this, like Butcher essentially talked himself into doing it, and then he convinced Huey to follow in suit. But MM and French are like, nah.
Well, and then it turns into a total drug. Like for Huey now doesn't feel like a nobody. He feels like, he can do something. He can take a punch and get back up and keep going. Like it turns into a drug, which later on we find out is a drug that can pretty much kill you if you use it too much. And dude, if you guys had 24-hour V, what I mean, Huey got teleportation. Like, yeah, that's useful for his situation, and Butcher got flaming eyes and super strength, which is useful for his situation. But like, what about you guys? What would you guys want?
Well, the
for
thing
your
is, you don't pick that.
That's right.
I know,
It shows for
it
you.
didn't make sense. Like,
Well, no,
they
because V
got
it just
awesome stuff.
exasperates what kind of your tendencies. Like it's the whole Kamiko storyline that she's fighting the entire time. That whatever you are, it just enhances or it brings out stronger. If you're a terrible person, it makes you more terrible. So I don't know what power what V would kind of manifest in me, because like Huey, it's about getting away, but with teleportation with any of them, all he would have to do is get some kind of astronaut suit, or he would need something to be able to teleport, and actually he'd have to figure out how to bring something with him, and then just send somebody up into space and throw him into the sun, whether it's Soldier Boy, Homelander. He could do with that.
That's true. You can't do that, can he? Because he loses everything on him.
He
So
loses
you can't
everything off him.
physically take anything with you.
Yeah, he'd have to
Right.
figure out he'd have to talk to Frenchie, because Frenchie is absolutely brilliant and can figure out anything.
Apparently.
They take that for granted. Dude can figure out anything.
Like, oh, you're
do
just stone.
love
Go
that.
away, Frenchie. I'm like, no, it's like the best character. Come on.
I do love that Frenchie. I love Frenchie's whole story, man. He's just great. That like he just seems to be everybody's dog on a leash, and until the end where he actually is like, no, I'm gonna stand up for myself. It was like
having developed Frenchie's storyline and develop MM's storyline, to give that backstory of both of them, even though
Right.
they're not, like, we've focused so much on Butchie and Huey or Butcher and Huey, and just over and over again, to finally give them some time, because The Boys is not. It's more than those two guys.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And if
it was
you
well
look
done.
up any kind of like backstory on the comics, this season it diverts completely off the comics. We are way off the comics on this one, so
That's probably a good thing, maybe.
it probably
that's
is.
what I'm
Comics
hearing.
told their story. Well, just the comics told their story, and you can
Right.
use those characters and tell your own stories.
Exactly. No, and I love what they're doing so far. I mean, just like Walking Dead. Walking Dead split off from the comics eventually, and now look at them. Let's just hope that they can keep up with a good storyline on this one.
I think so.
Yeah.
But
I
yeah,
think
to your
so.
point, I do want to. Is it want power or power you think, just based on your tendencies of like things that you do? Like, I know specifically I'm honest enough with myself. In a fight or flight situation, I'm fine. So I wouldn't be opposed to like A Train's ability or even Huey's ability.
I would
That's just how I
love
feel like
those
I would.
abilities. Bye bye. See ya.
That's what you feel like you would just end up getting. Like,
I probably
Yeah,
just power
totally
fart or
random.
something would be my power.
I
That
absolutely
guy who
believe that.
vomits up the acid stuff,
See? There you go.
I believe it.
That'd be me.
you could have that magic penis guy too.
That too. Yeah.
Oh god. Oh,
He made his return in Herogasm.
oh.
Triumphant
I totally-
return.
See, that's the thing.
Mr.
Is like,
Bong Dong.
when we
yeah.
do this podcast, it brings up a lot of things that I totally forgot about.
Yeah.
Like that
but
first scene.
also- But I mean, shout out to A Train's ability. Like, we always see him running away from stuff, but literally, his first encounter is he runs through a human being. That's how fast and powerful he can be. And this time, he gets another soup and is going so fast, he drags him down to pretty much nothing just by dragging him behind him on the ground.
That was a great reveal.
We don't
I'm
ever
like,
see
what is he
them-
doing?
Yeah, I kind of like
I'm like, oh,
Speed
God.
used as a really violent action rather
Hmm.
than just running and
Mhm.
doing all the stuff that Flash does.
I feel like A Train, they didn't know what to do with A Train this season. It felt
They never do. They never know what to do with
Yeah.
A Train's storyline.
A Train.
But it
A
still
Train
makes for
really
good
had nothing
sequences.
for me. Yeah. Oh
Mhm.
yeah, he had great scenes, but like overall storyline, it just was. It was very throwaway. Everything was thrown away with him. Like every time that he was on screen, somebody was trying to push him off screen.
Yeah, I feel like
A
with-
Train. Yeah, go ahead.
No, I don't know. I'm thinking that they have so many characters, they just had to throw together a storyline for a few of them. Some were better than
Mhm.
others, but they're all these like B side storylines that didn't really fit the narrative. Some
Right.
did better than others.
It's
but-
like they just
I don't
wanted to like to that current times type of thing. Like they really wanted to tie in the whole fake news, Black Lives Matter, Antifa, all these different connections to what we've experienced over the past couple of years. And they used A Train for that for obvious reasons. Like you're not going to
Right.
put the deep in those situations.
Right. No, it makes sense. I mean, it could have done something different or better, something tied to the storyline this season too, possibly. Don't know what that would be. I'm just throwing it out there.
Mhm.
Yeah, but it definitely felt a bit shoehorned in. Like they just didn't know what to do.
Right.
Like you said. So
They
yeah,
tried to
I
do
agree with that.
everything all at once.
Yeah.
Yep. I mean, and they did fine enough that they just kept it with Votland. Like Votland was genius. Like you have all these like super woke memes everywhere, right? Like the whole theme park is like woke
Mhm.
walk and stuff, and BLM whatever snow cones. I forget what it was. It was like all over the top, right? It was like hilariously
Yeah.
over the top. It's like that was perfect. Like just do that. That's all you need. You don't have to have like a season long storyline. Like
But
that.
it's so true. Like having a theme park based on these characters as well. Like.
Yeah, it's fun.
And like I said, I was just at Universal Studios, and yeah, half the theme park is based on characters, obviously in movies and books and television. But like to have those people in real life, like I guess Disney was a real man. I don't know,
Mhm.
but it's just
Yeah.
I don't know. I find it very interesting. I like how they try to parallel their show with the world we live in, and
And I
I
mean,
don't know.
shout out to the costumed Homelander who got absolutely annihilated.
Yeah. You got
Oh,
that.
with the giant head, the Mickey Mouse head.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, and they were at this place because they were finding, or what the whole deal is, they've got this old superhero that they had to go to Russia to save, which, man, they had to, that was a whole episode in Russia that I totally forgot about until
Yeah,
I just
that was
said
kind
it
of
now.
like that. We could have cut that. We could have cut that down. Maybe he wasn't in Russia. Maybe he was like somewhere in America. That would have been better,
Right,
but
go to
that's
Arizona.
okay.
Um,
Somewhere else.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so they get this, so they get this superpowered superhero. Hey, look at me, I know words. They get the Captain America. Captain
Yeah,
America.
they
Would you
found
guys
Captain
call him?
America?
Yes.
yeah.
So he's Captain America.
100%. They even threw a beard on him, just like Steve Rogers did in, what was it, Infinity War? Yeah,
Yep.
bearded Steve Rogers. And he's just a POS, man. He is, he is
As every
garbage.
hero is.
Right. But man, they dialed him up to 11 on this.
But
Yeah,
also, I just do want, like, for Supernatural fans, they were probably super excited.
Get it? Yeah, we were super excited. No, Jensen Ackles did a good job. I think he played the part well.
Oh, I think he played the part extremely well.
Yeah,
and
he was a good actor.
yeah,
So, well done. Good casting.
And
Yeah.
his name was Soldier Boy. Soldier
Yeah.
Boy. So
Yep.
that's where your rapper name is coming from. Soldier Boy.
and Soldier Boy. I mean, he goes. His goal is that his original, like before the Seven with Homelander and everybody, he had his own crew called Payback, and they sold him out, and that's how he ended up in Russia. Because he was the strongest guy. He was the Homelander before Homelander, and everyone on his team hated him. Sounds a lot like Homelander. There's very distinct parallels, and Black Noir is on both teams because, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. This is very much like Watchmen as well. It kind of has that old team, new team feel that the
Yep.
Watchmen story has. So,
Mhm.
kind of
Which
fun
I will-
parallel there.
I will say with Black Noir, I really hated that they didn't stick to the comics with Black Noir. I would have loved for him to have still been in the comics. Black Noir is Homelander, just a psychopath, but they keep him undercut. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't know if you.
No,
thought you
I'm
might have
never.
said
I'm never going to read the
Spoilers,
comics.
jeez.
That's fine.
Now I'm never going to read the comics. Oh god.
Well, well,
But please, please go on. What?
anyways, so Black Noir was supposed to be Vought's backup. If something ever happened to Homelander, they had
Okay.
Black Noir, so they always kept him in all black. But whenever they would take off the bottom of his mask, he always had this gigantic grin, like a
Okay.
crazy grin. And I'm like, what a cool thing they could have done with that. But I'm sure, like, then we wouldn't have Black Noir in season 3 because in season 1
Right.
they would have had to do something with him, or
So
season 2 or whatever.
Was he a clone? Is that what you're saying?
He was kind of like a
clone?
clone, but he was like a psychopath.
Okay.
And I think he still had like
He's
the
like
weird,
Bizarro
like,
Superman.
yes,
like
he was
Bizarro
exactly
Superman, right.
Bizarro Superman
Okay.
with just this giant creepy smile. And I
That's kind of
believe
fun too.
he like went to the White House and killed the president and all that stuff and massacred everybody in the White House. And yeah, so I kind of wish they would have stuck to that storyline, but I do like that they had the storyline with him being back in Vietnam with Soldier Boy in this,
Yeah.
which was pretty neat.
And I liked his whole cartoon motif as well.
Yes.
Like that was his, like, because he obviously had brain damage, so he's going to be stunted. And yeah, it makes sense that he would see his life with like cartoons and cartoon characters.
And just
that are
the
his
cartoon
friends.
depiction of what happened. Like
Oh,
we see
so
see
sad.
Grace when she's young for the backstory of, you know, when
Mhm.
Soldier Boy supposedly dies. And they show all these, you know, like insurgents come and, oh, he got damaged by that. And it seemed weird that Black Noir would have got that messed up by guys with guns.
Exactly.
And so
you
to
find
then
out.
have the cartoons play out that it was actually Soldier Boy who did that.
Yeah, and seeing his brains out there like that. Bleh.
Yeah.
Oh, that was rough, man. That was really rough. That whole thing was silly, though, or not silly. The whole thing where they actually go to the flashback and they're actually at Vietnam, and then you've got the flying guy buzzing around, giving up their space. I actually really liked that. I thought that was
Yeah.
cool scene. Going back, you got to meet all these new superheroes that now that we met those superheroes, now we're on the hunt for those superheroes throughout the rest of the series, which is really fun because they still are living their lives in the world that we're living in, and they're messed up, dude. And which superheroes do none of them like actually age all that? Nobody ages really,
Yeah, it seems like not many of them do age.
right?
So I
If
don't
they
know.
do,
the
it's
TNT
very slowly.
twins and the Mindstorm guy looked pretty bad.
Yeah, so some do, some don't. Just depends on what the mix.
But this was Vietnam. They're not like,
It's true. They're not like, super old.
Oh yeah,
Right.
they should be like
yeah,
Much older. So yeah,
probably
makes sense.
70 to 80. So yeah.
right. But yeah, so should we talk about Herogasm at all?
I feel like
We
it
could
was
dive into that.
overhyped.
It was overhyped for sure. I was like,
It was.
and it was like 15 minutes of just like some tame nudity.
Like
Yes.
parts of it, I was like, this joke is like Austin Powers. Like when all the white stuff splashes on
Right,
him, I'm like, I
right,
could be
like,
watching an
oh,
Austin
okay.
Powers movie right now.
Yeah.
or Scary Movie. I think Scary
Scary
Movie
Movie,
did
yeah.
the
It's
same
it's
thing.
just yeah. I thought the best part of that episode is when Soldier Boy blew everybody up.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I'm like, oh my god, this is amazing. He's killing everybody. Like, was not expecting that. That was great.
But that fight itself, when we finally get to see, so they built it up that
Hmm.
Butcher gets Soldier Boy back so he can take down Homelander. Like that's the only thing that's powerful enough. And we finally get to see him fight. And they fight for a few scenes. I'm like, this is really choreographed well. And then they cut and they go to something else. I was like,
Like, no, this is really good, guys. 'Cause I had the same thing. I'm like, here it is. We've been waiting for this. We never really got to see Homelander really fight anybody for real. 'Cause
Or
he's too
bleed.
overpowered. Right. So
Yeah.
it was
Or-
fun. It was a fun fight scene. And yeah, they had to cut away from it.
Or get a bruise, which
Mhm.
gets brought up later on, which is really cool.
Yeah.
But out of Herogasm, I want to say that the best joke, and it was kind of a reoccurring joke in that, is everybody talking about how Frenchie's going to be pissed that he missed out on
Mhm.
Herogasm.
Always wanted to go to Herogasm for Frenchie.
I loved that joke. I felt so bad for Frenchie.
As he sat naked, being beaten and watching his women
that's-
get
yeah.
killed and tortured. Yeah. Not a
So
fun day
that
for Frenchie.
So that was after Herogasm, or
During, I believe.
it's the same.
when did
episode, yeah.
Kimiko?
Yeah. it's the same
Kimiko
episode.
lost her powers
Before
to
then,
in
yeah.
Russia.
Homelander.
Yeah, in Russia.
Right. So when
Or
she gets
sorry,
beat up, the
Soldier Boy,
episode,
yeah.
she's really getting beat up.
So
Mhm.
and that's another thing too, is not Homelander, but Soldier Boy has the power to take away powers with
Yes.
his power. So
It's just like X-Men 3.
oh man, I
For those of
don't
you who haven't seen
remember
X-Men 3, it's a terrible movie. But there's the mutant kid that can take people's powers away. So same idea.
Huh.
I mean, at one point, I was hoping they were going to set up the next season where he takes Homelander's powers away and just see how Homelander reacts. Like he'll get him back at some point, but just to have
Right,
him
right. Be
react to
fun.
not having powers,
At least for an
yeah.
episode, right? Oh, that would
If
be
he
fun.
could feel what it's like to be, you know what,
Be
that's going to be
normal.
season 4 right there. They're
I
going to
hope
do
so. 'Cause
something.
Just
They have
Kimiko
to do
talking
something
to
like that.
Frenchie about, I can actually feel your arms. You know, previously they felt
Mhm.
like bendy straws. No offense.
Yeah. Oh, no. And I'm like, he's pretty
So, yeah,
ripped.
just that
So,
whole
like for her
idea.
to say that, I'm like,
I do feel like it was a quick transition from her being very excited about not having her powers to, okay, I want my powers back. Give
I think it's
me
just-
my powers back.
But it's how quick and sudden that being captive to Nina was, though. Like that guy was. I mean, she died right then. Her ribs all cracked and punctured her lungs. She had internal bleeding that she's not recovering from, and they
Oh,
stitched
for
her up.
sure.
Stitching doesn't work on internal bleeding.
or cracked rib.
Right.
So
Well, it was probably the first time she ever truly felt pain too. So I
Yeah.
can't imagine that. Yeah. But yeah, so earlier I mentioned Homelander being bruised, being punched in the
Mhm.
face and getting bruised, and then him going to Maeve and talking to Maeve in the cell and having Maeve be like, "Are you wearing concealer?"
Conceal it, yeah.
And the fact that she's like, "You can kill me right now. I can."
yeah,
die
that was great.
happy."
Oh, yeah,
I'm like,
exactly.
yes, Maeve. Oh, dude, she is rad.
Yeah, Modesto, born and raised. She's a fighter, that's for sure. know,
And
he's a
then
great character this season.
oh, she like I was excited. We didn't see her for a couple episodes, and then we actually see her come back. I'm like, finally, a character who isn't just like straight black and white. She actually has gray to her, and they can dive into different things.
Exactly.
Right.
So it was kind of nice.
Yeah, but with this season, they kind of threw her in the cell, and we didn't see her for 80% of the series or the
It's
season,
just like
which is
they have
such
too
a
many
bummer.
characters. It's like, oh, Maeve, we're doing something, and then oh, we're not. A Train, we're doing something, and then oh, we're not.
The Deep are doing something.
The Deep, we're gonna try and shoehorn you back in, but
Yeah.
we don't really know. I mean, the Deep kind of had a bigger part this season. I don't know.
Well, I guess
he
the Deep
had a-
was. I don't know. He was the Black Noir in the comics, I guess, if he's assassinating the VP candidate. So I guess he was kind of that for this
I mean, he's
season.
pretty much just the yes man, is what he is. He has
Right,
no
he turned
spine
in-
at all. He turned into a
Mhm.
jellyfish, ironically enough.
Mhm.
Ah,
Nicely done.
nice. Oh,
Yeah.
but you know what? I will say I am so happy that they didn't show his gills once.
They didn't. That's right. They didn't this
I
season.
am so excited because
There was the
hated
time where he
hated
suggested
it.
the three-way, and
with the octopus.
the octopus and his wife, like, she barely has anything on, and he still has his full suit. He's laying in bed with his full on suit.
I'm so glad, man. I hated those gills in the first season. That was probably the gnarliest thing out of everything else they showed in that first
It was
season.
a bit much,
That was the grossest thing.
And then,
but I do
so
enjoy
in
his
s-
character.
Well, yeah, season 2, the gills, he talks to the gills, and the gills are voiced by Patton Oswalt. And in this
Right.
season, they make fun of the Gal Gadot Imagine song, and Patton
And he's in
Oswalt
it.
is literally after the Deep. The Deep sings, and then Patton Oswalt sings.
That's awesome.
I didn't make that connection. That was
I
fantastic.
didn't either. Well,
Very
you just
well
watched.
done.
Didn't you just watch from start to finish? No, that was Stranger Things. Whoops.
Yeah, no, he just watched the last episode, but not the whole season tonight.
Yeah.
That'd be impressive if you did.
But also, just I do want to. They did funny little shocking things where, like, to your point at the start, where they do the Thanos up the butt with Ant-Man type of thing, like,
Oh,
they make the whole
gnarly.
spoof on it. But then
Right.
in Herogasm, Homelander comes up and he steps on the Ant-Man dude. It's such a throwaway thing. It's like a flash of a scene. He steps on and done. And that was more shocking than that whole big setup they had in episode 1.
Exactly. Yeah. See, when they do stuff like that, it's more fun.
I don't know. Episode 1 shocking scene was a little much for me. I'm pretty sure I texted you guys thinking this
You
is pretty
did.
wild.
I don't know. It didn't
I
shock
kinda
me
knew
very
what was going
much.
to happen, so
Yeah.
it's like
I wasn't expecting that.
Come on, he lubed up and was ready to swim in. I mean, come on.
yeah.
Well, he didn't
What do you
go
think
up
was
the
gonna
butt
happen?
though.
No, he went up the front.
He went up
So-
the front, and that
Yeah.
was. Never mind.
It's gnarly. No, it's
Let-
gnarly. I get it. Yes. I'm just saying, to Trevor's point, I think it was more shocking to see him be stepped on because we're expecting it. It was a funny moment.
Yes.
I don't know.
It's a sudden
Funny,
throwaway
shocking.
thing. And
Well
then
done. It's a sun
I
throwaway.
also kind of the relationship between Soldier Boy and Homelander. This season, there's a lot about being weak and being a man and throwing those terms out back and forth, whether it's
Right.
Butcher and his dad or whether it's just Homelander. Everything Soldier Boy says is about being a man. And he tells that whole story about his dad. And he
Mhm.
was never deserving. He was never good enough. He takes V and he's like a
That's your
superhero.
shortcut.
And he's
Like
like,
the easy
yeah.
way out.
you took the easy way out. And so he has this whole dynamic where he's the one who donated sperm to create Homelander. So he's biologically his dad. And he's like, I wish I was there so I could have raised you not to be crying and being soft and being weak. And it's this whole thing about being a man, even though
Mhm.
they're following in the same steps that their parents did to them.
Mhm. Exactly.
It's pretty
Making the
wi-
same mistakes.
They get
Yeah.
pretty deep in this show. No,
They
not
get-
with
I mean,
Not
deep,
in
but-
too deep. The sequel.
Oh,
It's
the
also
sequel.
in too deep. The whole connection though of the Lost connection, got to give a shout out. All the best cowboys
Of
have
course.
daddy issues.
Oh yes. Good old Sawyer. Anyways.
Because it's funny because when Soldier Boy first meets Homelander, he's like, you're wearing a cape. It was, all I could think of was Edna Mode talking about capes the entire time.
No,
Okay.
Because then he grabs him by the cape and smacks him
Yeah.
down at one
And that's
point.
why. See?
Yeah, no capes.
Exactly.
There was one thing that kind of bothered. One thing that I just like out of my head, like when you were talking about the cape, that means that the material that they're using is very strong. Like what kind of material are they using? Because think about Queen when Maeve was fighting Homelander. And
Mhm.
she puts her little arm shield up. She's not like an Amazon. She's not Wonder Woman. Like those things are just for show, really. So
Right.
wouldn't that
So
thing
maybe
just
they're not.
burn right off of her arm? Like
Maybe they have some special Kevlar material.
Yeah, maybe they're immune. They could just have all the stuff that they throw in the Marvel universe.
There
Oh,
you
look,
go.
it's animanium. It's the strongest material. Oh, look, it's vibranium. It's the strongest material. You know, they just pull stuff out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's all
Just let
made
it
up
be.
stuff. It doesn't
It
matter.
is exactly.
It was just something that I had noticed, and I was sitting there watching it, going, "Oh, wait a second, that shouldn't happen. That's just a prop."
Yeah. No, they just wanted to do that as a throwaway for the whole Wonder Woman.
Wonder Woman,
reference.
of
That's all.
course.
So that's fine.
Of course.
I get it. Because if I were him, I would just lower my eyes somewhere else. I'd be like, okay.
Right. Just go womp.
Here. I'll just go like this the whole time. Shake my head. Wow.
Zigzag.
Chop suey.
Oh, but you know what? When Homelander and Billy Butcher both do their eyes on Soldier Boy,
At the
when
same
they're
time
trying
together.
to at the same time together, and then they give each
Yeah.
other a look, I was like,
Yep. Like, yeah,
"Come
we're doing
on,
this for the
that
boy.
is cool, man.
Gotta do it.
That is cool."
Gotta save our
And
son.
then Ryan coming out and saying hi, Grandpa. That was good too. It's like
I was like, oh shit, I was not expecting him to be there. That was great. Hi, Grandpa.
And that kid,
Hmm.
man, coming out and really coming in like Homelander's now my dad. Yeah, last season he might have thrown me off of a roof of a house, but now he's my daddy.
he apologized.
because
he said
Homelander-
it's okay.
Yeah,
That's
Homelander
right,
gave
he
him that
did.
speech. And he said, you know what?
speech.
It wasn't your fault. I'll always be here for you. Always love you no matter
I've
what.
made all kinds of
That's what you did.
accidents. They have a
Yeah,
list of all
it
the people
happens.
I've killed in my accidents.
And
It's
I'm
a
the only
big
one who can
file.
understand you, right? Because Butcher can't understand him. Butcher isn't a
Yeah.
soup. He just doesn't know what he's going through. So of course he's gonna be like, oh well, I definitely want that guy.
The only
I'm-
weird thing was that Ryan had a cut above his eye after Soldier Boy literally tosses
he
him over
did.
into a bookcase.
Yeah.
That's not going to happen to Ryan.
No, that's a good point. I'm not too sure
He's
why they did that.
bulletproof.
I'm not too sure why they did that. I might have to ask some people on the show about that.
Yeah.
Odd. Okay.
Now
Good
Now
point.
I know that we touched a little bit on the deep. His storyline with his wife. I don't know about you guys, but I kind of enjoyed that little. It all was pretty much throwaway type of stuff, but I could feel like I could see people like that in Office today doing the same things.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. 100%.
Yeah.
100%.
I found his stuff to be fairly interesting.
It's all about controlling the talent. I mean, it's Stan Edgar's entire career.
This. Exactly.
Which that was a big. So Nadia, or I don't know what her name is. that's
Yeah,
not
what is her
Nadia.
other name? I don't know. She's just Nadia to me.
But she blows up that one guy from her past. Like first she blasts him with the jaw, like she's the head popper. We know that. But to blow up an entire body and just have it turn into soup, and then Huey's there and it all splashes down on him, and that's kind of the thing that pushes Huey to the edge to even consider Compound B. Like he wouldn't have if Nadia didn't betray his trust like that.
And now she's the vice president.
Yeah, and so now all she has to do is get elected, or Singer has to get elected, pop his head, and now she's president.
And then there you go. I mean, they've been teasing her since the first season as the fly, the little fly in the room. So, which I don't think it was her. I don't know what that fly was, but then started having popping heads, and now here she is. So the breadcrumbs have been there all along.
And just to get rid of,
she's got to go.
Like I liked seeing the past of Stan Edgar, the guy who played Giancarlo Esposito in the past. He had his
Looks just like
mannerisms
him.
and pacing down. Oh God, it
Good
was
casting.
really spot on. Yeah,
Good casting, good acting. That was
Yeah.
well done. I was like, oh, that's definitely him. That's definitely him
Mhm.
as a younger man.
Now, when
And
you
then to have Nadia
Go ahead.
like when she was given that speech, I didn't think that she was going to say, like, I thought it was just a throwaway thing to see how Homelander would react. Like they built it up like that
Mm.
to her to throw him under the bus in that sequence, that definitely surprised me.
Yeah.
Nice. I love when stuff surprises you, man. What was it? A happy surprise? Were you like, yes?
I'm always happily surprised.
Okay, good. I love hearing that. Now I know that we talked about like some of these visuals, they could be like really graphic and stuff, but
Hmm.
when you were just mentioning when she took the entire body and exploded it all into just a big red goo, it reminded me of that show, True Blood. Every time did you guys ever watch True Blood when
To
they
the bitter
stab?
end.
Oh God, right? Wasn't it tough? That was a
Oh, it's
tough,
tough. It was a
hard
trudge.
one.
Anyway,
But every episode would end on a cliffhanger, and it was like, well, now I have to watch the next episode. Anyways, every time that they would stab the vampire in the heart with a wooden stake, they would do that same
Yep.
gooey look.
blood yeah.
And that's the thing, is like, is it weird that we're living in a world that like that type of stuff doesn't bother us? It's
I mean,
weird,
it is
right? It's
it's
weird.
not. If it were more practical, I would say it would bother me. But since it's mostly CGI, I can tell it's CGI.
Okay.
So it doesn't really have as
No,
much
I
of
think
effect.
it's I think it depends on the person, but some people are good at distinguishing fiction from reality.
That too.
Yeah.
If you saw that
That's
on the
why I watch
news
war,
or
I
any
know.
even potential for that to happen on the news, I think it would be
It'd be
like,
a
you know,
Twitter.
when when there's like indications that this could have a connection to a school shooting and you have that real life connection.
Right.
I don't know if there's a real life connection of somebody exploding an entire body.
Exactly.
So there's a
Okay.
disconnect for
Yeah.
the realism of it happening.
yeah.
Okay.
Well said. Well said.
That totally, yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah. So think of it less of being desensitized and more of being able to disassociate from,
And this
Back
also
in
isn't
reality.
season 1. We kind of know this show at this point.
I don't know. Some things still give me a jolt.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, speaking of jolts and surprises, when they're hunting down Mindstorm and they come across the pastor and the nun, and
Yeah.
Soldier Boy goes and shoots the pastor
I
in the
can't
head,
believe
and
they
he's
did
like,
that scene.
"What are you doing?" And he's like, "You can't shoot this nun. You can't shoot her." And then she attacks him. I did not expect Soldier Boy to be right. I totally
I
did not
know,
expect
right?
him to be right.
I didn't expect him to be right either. I'm like, oh my god, you're gonna kill him.
Because the dude is like totally out of it. He's just gone.
Well,
the
he
guy
had
was
been
so
smoking
nice,
so much
too.
weed
Right?
and
No, I meant like the priest was so nice. Like you're like, oh, it's
Yeah.
obviously not brainwashed. Nope, he was. Okay. Wow. All right.
fascinating. Yeah.
They went
Dude.
there.
But that's a testament to the great writing on this show.
Yeah, it's good
Like
stuff.
whoever the writers are just nailing it on this show.
They did well this season for sure.
And they also made fun of whatever it takes. I don't know how many times they said whatever it takes, but all I could think of was Cap every single time. Whatever it takes with they must have said whatever it takes at least 20 times. Different
dude, whatever it
characters, different
takes.
scenes, different episodes, whatever it takes.
Mm-hmm. It's fun.
Well, and if that's not just going to be a repeating thing, how about every time they open the trunk, you got to get the look out of the trunk scene.
You don't like
Every
the
time.
Phantom?
No, I don't mind them,
Okay.
but now now I'm noticing them more and more. Every time, like if you look up the comic book issues, it's always looking in the trunk. The 3 characters looking in the trunk, or whoever's looking in the trunk, it's always characters looking into the trunk of a car.
Right.
And we get that probably twice in each episode in this show. Like
You want it less
repeats
often.
a lot. It would be nice if it was less often. Yeah.
Okay. All right. That's a good nitpick. All right.
It was a little-
I didn't
just a
notice it much, but okay.
little- Really? Oh my
I didn't
god!
nitpick that. All right.
It was like wow every time. Every time.
Yeah. No, I will say
Anytime Go
overall.
ahead. Yeah.
I was to say overall, I think the special effects improved. over the last 2 seasons. I know the first season was noticeably not that great. So they gave them more money and they did a better job with the money. Still some issues here and there with green screening and stuff, but yeah, I think it was a lot better this season overall.
Well, I think
They definitely have good makeup people.
and that was another person. I think we already discussed her, Homelander's girlfriend who committed suicide.
Stormfront.
Stormfront. I couldn't believe she was still alive, and I didn't realize that she was going to.
Yeah,
be
I forgot
alive
that she was. I thought she died there on the tree. The last
Right.
season.
You know, I just watched season 2 and I was surprised that they left her alive. I was like, what's the point of leaving her alive?
Right.
Oh no.
Because it's
It
a
was
character development point for Ryan. It has nothing to do with her. You know.
Right. I'm not too sure.
So yeah, now we're starting to get into like little nitpicky stuff. We just praise the show for an hour.
I did really like the setup of the superhero reality show, and just for Homelander to
right.
stage that whole thing that he and Starlight are in a relationship, and hashtag Homelight comes right up. And I'm like,
Right up.
Starlander is such a better name. Like, if you created a superhero and they were named Starlander, they land on stars. Think how powerful that superhero would be. They come landing on stars. They come launching in with stars. Homelight. What is that? I turned on the light at home. Here's my lamp.
It's like Star Killer, you know?
Do you think Homelander would allow his name?
No,
to come
I'm just
second?
saying Starlander
No, I
is a
know,
great name.
I know.
That's what
It
I'm
is,
saying.
yeah.
It's a great name.
But Homelight's more cheesy, fun, you know, rom-commy
super.
kind of
Yeah,
stuff. So, yeah, it makes sense for
rom-commy.
them. It is like, oh yeah, those kind of people will eat that
They
up.
also did a really good job this season in changing the frame rate and the camera style. If we're filming the reality show, or we're doing the Home Shopping Network,
It looks
or
different.
we're doing the
Right.
video from the past, they changed it really well to fit.
Or even the news.
Yeah, they did.
Every time that they
Yeah,
had their
every
Fox
time.
News or CNN type of thing. Yeah.
Because the show has a very specific sepia tone and like a dark scale to everything. It's very making fun of DC. And so
It is.
it's fun to change the camera on that. And speaking of that, there's also the Kamiko dancing choreography scenes, which I just
Oh,
loved
yeah.
them. I loved when
That was
she just
fun.
busted into song, or
I just like her
the whole
character. She's so
hospital
cute.
musical number. They burst into colors, like they literally pop all of the colors specifically. You see it come alive as it goes. But yeah,
Well,
she might be my favorite character.
Well, it's a great juxtaposition of who she's always been. This like person who's always decked out in all black and always kind of gothic and moody, and to see her like completely transform and full of color and light and happiness was fun to see that.
You
you know?
forgot to mention she's very quiet.
She's very quiet, yeah. But she did speak briefly. She squeaked out a little word.
Oh,
Which freaked
dude.
out Frenchie.
When she put Footloose on in that last scene where she's fighting, ooh, that was good. Now that was a great choreographed scene right there too.
Especially when she was pounding that guy over and over into the beat.
Yeah.
That was nice.
Little unnecessary, but
Oh, it's great.
it was
Oh,
good.
yeah, over the top. Love it.
There was a lot of over
Like-
the top punching people over and over again.
Yep. I'm like, okay.
The blood just keeps coming.
I'm like, okay. Like, I think he died 5 times already.
We gotta fill time. Just keep punching him.
Keep doing it.
I also want to give a shout out to Paul Reiser, just because him being an agent from the 70s, just like, and they made it superhero talent, but he's literally just an agent, and he tells all these random stories of these people that he banged in the past, or he's like, he drops these names and he was like, I have no idea who any of these people are. He nailed that role so well.
He was great. It's good to see Paul Reiser back on the screen.
Yeah.
So
Hey,
much
I
fun.
gave him a shout out last week because he was in Stranger Things as well.
There you go. He's a good guy. Good actor. It was fun. A fun part. He ate it up, man. He really did that
He
part
did.
well.
Yeah.
And there's
Did
a
it- did it
sequence
well.
where he asks Huey, do you want some cocaine? And Huey says, no thanks, I'm full of cocaine, which that's just so Huey. I'm full of cocaine.
I must have missed that because that whole scene was funny because he kept saying stuff that Yui was responding to like so well. Like, what's his name? Jack Quaid. Like, it's so funny.
Yeah.
His comedic timing is fantastic, and I missed that
Yeah,
one.
there's
So I
another
was like,
part where he's talking to Starlight. They're in the car, and he's like, you know, I care about family. I'm like Dom Toretto. And he's like,
Yes,
I'm all
I
about
remember that
family.
I'm all about family.
He makes his voice slightly gravelier.
Yep. All about family. what a fun season.
Yeah.
Not too much time left. Any other highlights or lowlights? I know the one thing that I think we should point out is kind of where things are going.
Yeah, let's
Because
go
we
into
have
that.
Maeve, who lost her powers because she saved everybody, so she gets to have her
She does the
normal
hero
life.
turn after Starlight throws
hero
it in
turn,
her
right?
face over and over again about
Mhm.
you're not a hero. She's like, I'm doing this
Exactly.
pretty much just to shut
Fine.
Starlight up. I don't even care.
Yeah, pretty much. I don't care if I die or not. She's like, oh crap! All right, here I go. So she gets to have her normal life. Who knows if she'll be found? She probably will be, but hopefully not.
Do you expect her to be found at all?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like, I almost felt like they kind of wrapped up her
I hope they
whole
did.
story.
I hope they wrapped up her story and that's it. That would be
Right.
Nice. Even though I do like her, it'd be nice if that was her ending right there.
Right.
But I think more importantly is because I thought that it was going to end kind of around there. Like I didn't think it was going to go much further than Nadia being vice president. I was not expecting Homelander to come down
Yes.
with the
Was not.
whole January 6 people and blow that guy's head off and have him cheer, and then have Ryan turn
Ryan
into Jock
smirk.
on screen.
Oh.
His
Ryan
smirk
did
at the
that
end
little
with
smirk.
the smirk with the changing chord of the music was insane.
It was really good acting by that little actor, dude. Like his
Yeah, 'cause he
mouth
wasn't
barely,
necessarily great
almost
all season.
imperceptibly changes. Yeah,
But that scene was great.
I would say that scene would have had more impact if it came after the after the titles of the character, like a mid credit scene.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. But still, it was still good.
Just
Definitely
because you would think,
got me chills.
okay, cool, we know what next season's gonna be like. We're going
Right,
after
right,
vice president. Oh, okay, there's the and then it's like, oh no, wait. Oh, the kid
wait,
is gonna
there's
be
more.
a POS too.
Mm-hmm.
it's
still
the
worked,
one
though, I
thing that
think.
Becca didn't want.
Exactly.
it's
There we
happening.
go.
It's happening. And
But
it
here
all
he gets both. But this is where he's super dangerous, right? Because he, for the longest time, couldn't kill everybody because he wanted them to love him, and now he can kill people and they also love him. It's like, oh, I found the people, I found the base that will allow me to do the horrible things I want, and they will love me. So it's gonna be a dangerous fourth season.
So, which makes me curious about the type of people that are the type of people that watch this show, those type of people, and if they're watching, do they go,
What do they think?
oh,
Oh,
that's what I'm doing.
oh,
I'm that character.
I don't think they're intelligent enough to put the pieces.
Yeah.
Probably not.
It's more of a self-awareness. It's not even an intelligence thing. A lot of humans can be really
Mhm.
smart but lack basic self-awareness.
Yes. Yeah, they'd be very intelligent. They'd be engineers,
And then
not be self-aware.
I do feel bad for Black Noir. Like we get to have his whole
Oh,
backstory,
yeah.
and Homelander literally rips his heart out.
Oh,
That's
and then
boring.
have his little cartoon buddies come up and, hey, you were brave. You did good. Oh, heartbreaking,
out.
man.
Yeah.
Pour one out for Black Noir. There you go, fans.
No, if it's the final note, if you have anything else to say.
I do. I mean, I was thinking, well, with this whole kid turning into the new or going to be a bad guy, he's going to make a hero change at the end of season 4, and he's going to go up against Homelander. It's going to be like, no,
This
Billy
show hasn't
Butcher is...
indicated that.
Yeah, I don't know.
I just
I think
feel like
Butcher
it has...
might. I don't know. Butcher might actually have to kill Ryan.
Oh, you think you would go the dark route?
Mm-hmm.
Well, speaking of dark route, there's a point where Huey says there's still something good in him, and I was like, "What? Did you go to the Luke Skywalker school of thinking that bad people have good things in them?" Butcher does not have any good in him. Okay.
Oh,
I don't know. He punched Huey, so Huey didn't take the compound V or B, whatever.
yeah, sure.
He did a good thing there.
No, that
You
was
really
his way
are
of doing
spitting
it because
image
he
of my-
couldn't actually use his words
Yeah,
and
exactly.
communicate with anyone.
Exactly.
He's so broken and bad that he
Mhm.
couldn't. This is my solution.
Pretty much.
But no, what seeing his backstory with Lenny, jeez.
Oof.
Hmm.
Wow.
And yeah, he still wouldn't change.
I know that was
That
the
says a lot.
saddest thing.
That says a lot. That says a lot. Like that,
It,
I've not seen
it
that
says
done
it speaks
before.
volumes about a character. He learned no
That's good
lessons
writing.
whatsoever.
It's good writing. Like you don't see that very often. So it was nice
Yeah,
to see that. for a change.
Heartbreaking stuff, man.
Yep.
Yeah.
The boys.
The next season, I'm
The
definitely
boys.
excited for, but it's gonna.
Yeah.
Do you think it's so? That's the bit. Stranger Things is 2024. Does The Boys season 4 come out before Stranger Things?
It might.
I thought I heard online that they were planning on coming out before like Thanksgiving next year.
Oh, wow.
I'm all
Okay.
in.
There you go.
I mean that seems like a pretty fast turnaround.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, dude, I'm here for it. If that's what they're
And do
gonna
you
go
think
for.
Butcher's gonna die if he has 12 to
Mhm.
18 months to live? You think he's actually gonna die?
I think so.
I mean, if they call this the last season, I don't think you can have this show without Billy Butcher.
Yes,
Is
he'll
it
just
the
die in
last
the
season?
finale.
Sorry?
I have no idea.
It's the last season. I didn't hear that.
Oh no, I don't know if it's the last season. I'm
Okay.
just saying, like, I'm saying it would if it is the last season, and yeah, that totally makes sense. But you can't have the boys without Billy Butcher. He's
Yeah, I
like-
feel the same way.
he's such a character, and he's so iconic. Like, I don't know if I would care if
Right,
he's
it'd be
not a
kind of
part
the
of
end
it.
of the whole thing.
This season, Carl Urban leaned so much into I could barely understand what he was saying because he was going with the accent so heavy and using the stupidest words. Like he was literally hamming it up way
Really
more.
did.
Like he went even further this season than the previous two.
Okay, I think he
Yeah.
did that in the last episode more than any other episode because
Mm-hmm.
whenever Soldier Boy wakes up in the back of the car and he goes, "Oh, good morning, Gov. Oh, don't worry, go back to sleep. He was a puff anyways."
Hey, Sarah, yes.
and then okay, well, wake me up when we get to New York. It's like, wow, he really hammed that up. That's when I noticed his accent was almost too heavy.
There was some sequences like I can hear everything that MM and Huey say, but Frenchie's always been tough. And I felt like Butcher was tougher this season. Like I would have to rewind at certain points.
Yeah.
Oh, I always watch with subtitles, so yeah. I'm
Yeah.
old now.
Yeah.
I watch enough British TV shows to kind of get the gist of most of the lingo, I think.
The Great British Bake Off. Oh,
Of
I'm not
course.
the only one. Next
Love that show.
next week, tune in. Prague and I are going to talk the Great British Bake Off. That's
Oh,
right.
yeah.
It's good. Secondary heroes do baking.
I'm excited. All right, that's enough.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
the one final note I did have was shout out to Saltine Crackers. There's a point where Butcher's
Oh,
puking
that's
up
right,
the
that
compound
scene.
B, and Ryan comes out with the whole roll of Saltine Crackers. That's a throwback
both ate
to
it?
episode 5 of the Secondary Heroes, way back after Emerald City
Oh.
2019.
Oh.
Shout out to Saltine Crackers.
Saltine crackers. Now I get
Nothing
it.
like it.
Now I'm tracking. Let's
So,
hope it doesn't
to everyone
happen for
listening,
next week.
Hopefully.
Comic-Con.
I've had enough. And we hope you enjoyed The Boys season 3. If you haven't watched it yet, wow, you listened to everything that's going to happen. If you have watched it, what were your thoughts? Are you excited for season 4? And was there some standouts or nitpicks that we didn't highlight from season 3? What do you want to see next? And for some reason, they killed literally Soldier Boy and Maeve just for them to both not die. Like they had this whole dramatic thing at the end, and
I know.
again, these fake deaths are happening more and more in superhero things.
Star Wars.
Not- Oh, I was thinking about a new movie that is a Marvel universe. It happens on July 7th. It just came out. It's this guy. He's like a big Norse god. He deals with
how am I
lightning,
talking
the
about?
sound of lightning.
I have not seen it yet. Let's not spoil it. He's a god. Why would he die anyways?
Oh no, it's not him.
Oh, okay. Stop. No more. Maybe I'll watch that
So-
movie and next week we'll talk about Thor.
God, let's wrap
Oh
this
no,
up.
next
guys.
week I think we should talk about San Diego Comic-Con.
Oh,
Prague
good.
wants to go so bad. No, Prague. We're gonna continue talking. So next
We're
week's
going.
Comic-Con.
Like I mean, we're talking about Marvel. Like, we could talk about Miss Marvel. We keep that superhero string running with Miss Marvel.
Yes, so good. I'm having so much fun with Miss Marvel right now.
Superhero.
Prague
man.
is
We love
gonna-
it that way.
Prague is gonna Black Noir us right now. He's gonna write it on a piece of paper. I will kill you. All right.
This is hot. Yeah.
To everyone listening, follow at Secondary Heroes everywhere. We hope you enjoyed, and we'll talk to you next time.
Hey, and wait, who's Homelander's mother? Prague out.
Adios, y'all. Changing your name to. Oh, wow,
The
wow,
boys.
wow, 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 wow. The boys. The boys, the boys, the boys.
Sorry, I was cracking myself up.
Good thing you're not.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Secondary Heroes podcast. This week, we're talking about season 3 of The Boys. This is your host, Trevor, and joining me as usual is.
Hey guys, it's Prague.
Here's a live look in the. Oh, never mind. That didn't come out good. Here's a live look in the. What is it? The trunk. Here's a live look in the trunk. This is Alexander Wolfgang. Oh my god. Don't worry. I'm gonna edit it. I'm editing this. Here's a live look in the trunk. You can start whenever you want. I'm gonna edit all
I'm
of this.
good. Yeah.
Okay.
This is pretty money, though.
The boys.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Secondary Heroes podcast. This week, we're talking about The Boys season 3, the true secondary heroes of television. This is your host, Trevor, and joining me as usual is.
Hey guys, it's Prague.
Here's a live look in the.
The
Oh my
trunk.
God!
The trunk.
Don't worry about it. Don't
Just
start
start.
over.
Okay.
We're just gonna
Nope.
move on.
Start over.
Here's a live look in the trunk. This is Alexander Wolfgang. What is going on, guys? The boys.
The boys. What a season. What a
The
season.
boys are
Can't
back in
expect.
town.
Boys are back in town. The boys. This is fun. Having the boys back together here this week to talk about the boys. But
And we
first,
just-
our spoiler-free reviews.
Well, we just had the season finale just happened. So
Yeah.
this is oh my god, this is terrible so far.
This is
I'm so
fantastic. I don't know what you're talking
so
about,
sorry.
sir.
I feel like there was like some kind of delay that was screwing me up, and then now everything caught up really fast, and now I'm like, oh okay, now here
It's
we
really
are.
warm.
It is.
If we can stop doing retakes.
Let's just start. You don't have to play the graphic. Let's just start over one more time. Let's just do it
One more time. Okay.
one more time.
We have a little bit of riff before we get into that. Okay.
I don't know where should we even start with our riff.
We can talk about life.
Let's talk about life. Okay,
Oh my
let's do
balls are
this.
sweaty. All right.
Great.